Okay, so the market is simply unstoppable, and it is precisely at times like this that people get the most nervous. And you know what? The logic makes sense. After all, when the market is stretched like this, the fear of a correction intensifies because if it corrects, that could get ugly. Now, on the other hand, amateurs, newbies who like to sell tops without a strategy, they keep getting burned because the market keeps going up and they keep losing money for nothing. So, in this video, we are going to talk about strategies. We are going to talk about the main inflection points in the market in order to eliminate any emotion involved in trading. Now, more than ever, it's easy to get emotional, but not here, not in the Finance Hydra channel, where you receive unbiased, professional, and straightforward analysis every single day. My name is Nathan. Welcome to another daily study. And yes, we see the SPY ETF going up today, all right? 0.19%. It is not crazy, but it is still going up. So it is maintaining the bullish bias. What's more, today we saw a new all-time high on the SPY and on the QQQ as well. So yes, the bias is clearly bullish, okay? SPY, QQQ, many other stocks are still very bullish. There is not a single top signal triggered. There is not a single bearish reversal chart pattern we can use that could convince us that we are gonna see a pullback ahead, okay? There is not a single bearish reaction. Now you may say, but Nathan, today's candle is quite ugly, right, on the SPY ETF, because the shadow is relatively big, and today we see a gravestone doji, right? And that's totally correct, and that's so rare. That's very rare. It's extremely difficult to see the SPY ETF closing precisely at the same price level it did open this morning, okay? So the open and the close, they are precisely at the same price level, and that's intriguing, okay? That's very curious and that's very rare, okay? Now, this could be a top signal, all right? It could be. However, this top signal wasn't triggered yet. In order for the SPY to trigger a top signal, convincing me at least that we are gonna see a sharper correction ahead, we gotta first lose and close below today's low, triggering this gravestone doji candle pattern. What's more, on the 1 hour chart, we see nothing more, nothing less than a sequence of higher highs, higher lows, right, above the 21-hour EMA. So there is not a single lower high, lower low yet. So we gotta lose today's low and the 21-hour EMA as well, and only then we may see a top signal getting triggered on the daily chart and a reversal chart pattern on the 1 hour chart, reinforcing the idea of a correction on the daily chart. Okay, so that's the key point for you, my dear friends. The loss of today's gravestone doji candle pattern is the trigger point for a possible top signal on the SPY ETF, suggesting a sharper pullback. As long as you stay above these two key points, no pullback is going to materialize, okay? I do understand that SPY is insanely bullish. There is not a single bearish reversal on it yet. If we do see a top signal, okay. Remember, any pullback to the 21-day EMA could be just another buying opportunity. All right, so that's how I see the situation, okay? Either way, on the daily chart, we are still maintaining the uptrend. No big deal, all right? Even if we see pullback, that's totally normal, okay? Any pullback could be just another buying opportunity. So, we see the QQQ today going up. QQQ is making a more interesting bullish reaction, okay? Unlike the SPY, this is not a top signal, okay? It is not making a top signal. It is just making another bullish candle, breaking the previous high, making a new all-time high. On the 1-hour chart, we barely see pullback to the 21-hour EMA. So we are not only maintaining the uptrend on the daily chart, but we are also insanely bullish on the 1-hour chart as well. So there is not a single top signal, there is not a single bearish reversal on the QQQ yet. The loss of the 560, yesterday's low, could be the trigger point for a sharper correction, but as long as we see the QQQ above this key point, alright guys, uptrend, okay? This uptrend will remain intact. No reason to worry about. There is nothing to cry about, okay? The bull trend is just insane. Now, how this is going to affect our stocks? Because although we see the SPY stabilizing, making a doji, we see the QQQ going up, triggering another bullish continuation chart pattern, we see Nvidia going down. And it is going down, making a quite ugly bearish candle. As I said, last Friday to you guys here on this channel, guys, the key inflection point is 171.26, $171.26. That's the key inflection point. Only by closing below it, we could see a technical top signal on Nvidia suggesting a sharper pullback, maybe to the 21-day EMA, or in the best case scenario, to close this gap around 165. Now, are we still above this key inflection point? And the answer is yes. I know we are dangerously close to this support level, right? But still, we are above it. On the 1-hour chart, we see how and we see why this key point is so important, because it is a clear trigger point for a bearish pivot point. Only the loss of this support level could bring a technical reversal on the 1-hour chart and a technical pullback on the daily chart. So far, so good. We are still above this key point, so no meaningful correction is supposed to materialize unless we see the loss of the 171.26. Remember this key point, all right? That's the main inflection point for us for this week. Now, on the weekly chart, by the way, last week was Friday, and I forgot to analyze the weekly candle, right? We see Nvidia. Last week, we saw just another insane bullish candle pattern, okay? So, on the weekly chart, there is not even the slightest signal of a possible pullback. Only if we see Nvidia losing the 21-day EMA, losing this 165 support level, losing this double support level on the daily chart, we could see a more intense correction on the weekly chart, okay? But for now, guys, we are still doing very well. We see the SPY last week making a phenomenal bullish candle. We see the QQQ also very bullish, all right? So, on the daily, although the SPY is trying to make a top signal on the daily chart, there is not a single technical reason to worry. There is no technical evidence reinforcing the idea of a sharper correction on the weekly chart, okay? So far, that's why I'm telling you guys, so far as I know, this 21-day EMA on the indices, on the SPY, QQQ, etc., these are our next major support level if a technical reversal occurs on the 1-hour chart. So there is no reason to panic, all right? I see no reason to panic, or I see no technical reason to believe that we could reverse the medium-term trend. I do understand that a pullback, not reversal, a pullback is totally plausible in this context, but for a reversal to materialize, we gotta see the loss of multiple support levels on the daily chart, and we are very far from doing that. So that's why I'm telling you guys, pullbacks are just buying opportunities. As long as we see the bullish bias on the daily chart intact, that's how we like to proceed over here, okay? But Nathan, what if we see Nvidia, Tesla, etc., they reversing? Okay, then they will be shorting opportunities. All right, it's very simple. Okay, it's extremely simple. We have no bias over here. All right, in this channel, we only focus on what's happening right here, right now. Our focus is on technical evidence, facts, and charts in order to design good strategies that can help us to maximize our profits while mitigating our losses. Okay, that's what we do every single day. And by the way, guys, I share my trading signals and strategies on my Telegram channel with the 5% project members. There and only there, you can trade with me in practice, in real time, and learn how to trade using strategy and risk control. It's totally free to test, okay? It's free to test. You can learn our method for free, and you can even download my ebook on technical analysis and risk management as a token of gratitude for trusting in our work. This is how we maintain a community of hundreds of profitable traders making money every single day for years. There's no secret or magic formula. It's just strategy and discipline, things that we can all acquire and develop. So I'm sure we can help you a lot over here. So check out my website for more information. The link is in this video's description, all right? Right here below in the description. I think I'm gonna add a fixed banner below my chart over here because many people ask me, Nathan, where is your website? Well, guys, it's always below in the description, okay? So just take a look over there. Now, let's continue our analysis. When we look at Tesla over here, we see a very dangerous, very problematic candle pattern below this resistance level. What a coincidence, right? I have been warning you guys about this resistance level for many days right now. And for no one's surprise, here on this channel, we found a resistance level below this key point. All right, now what's the catch? If we see Tesla losing today's low, and if we see Tesla losing this 21-hour EMA, which has been acting as a quite reliable support level for Tesla, only by losing both key points, we could see a sharper pullback, maybe to the 21-day EMA or even lower, because this one is going to report earnings in 2 days. So the volatility will increase. In this context, as far as I know, in my humble experience over here, more often than not, Tesla continues. After earnings, Tesla continues the previous movement. So if we see a top signal getting triggered over here, chances are that Tesla will seek lower levels like the 291 or the 300s down here, okay, this support area. Now, if Tesla makes a phenomenal bullish recovery, closing above today's high, making a clear bullish candle, then okay, odds are that Tesla will explode upwards after earnings. Either way, I don't like betting on earnings, okay? We don't bet over here, all right? In this channel, on my Telegram channel as well, I never teach you guys to bet on this market. We always do every single thing. Every single strategy, every single signal is backed by a lot of technicals, a lot of strategy, a lot of risk management, okay? So we never bet on this market. So since earnings are too unpredictable, I don't like holding stocks during earnings, but hey, let's focus on how it's going to behave over the next few days, because again, if we see the loss of this top signal, Tesla could easily correct to much lower levels after earnings, okay? So if you are bullish on Tesla, you gotta see Tesla breaking as soon as possible this resistance level, all right? And preferably closing above today's high. All right, so these are the key points for you. And we see AMD. AMD did trigger a top signal, okay, last Friday. Now, what's the catch? It feels like we are stabilizing. And that's also not surprising because on the 1-hour chart, we see AMD struggling to break this 21-hour EMA, which is our next major support level short-term wise. If we see AMD losing this 21-hour EMA, then okay, it will just reinforce the idea of a bearish pivot point, lower high, lower low, and this could reverse the short-term trend, suggesting a more intense correction on the daily chart. And if that happens, fantastic. Possibly AMD could be another buying opportunity if we see a good reaction near this support level. Always buy near support levels, my dear friends, not buy near resistance levels, okay? If you want to buy near a resistance level, guys, of course, I am absolutely no one to judge you, okay? I'm just a retail trader sharing my ideas and thoughts here on this channel while practicing my English, by the way. So, if you tell me, Nathan, I still want to buy, okay? I want to buy, but I'm going to set a tight stop loss below today's low. Okay, fantastic, very good for you. At least you have a stop loss, all right? If you have a stop loss, if you have a target, I am absolutely nobody to disagree with you, okay? I can't disagree with you if you have a plan. But if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a stop loss, if you don't have a target in mind, if you have no idea of what is the beta of your stock, etc., then you are totally crazy to me, all right? That's crazy. That's betting, okay? That's so amateurish. That's totally a newbie thing, all right? That's not how we do here on this channel, okay? So if you have a strategy, go for it. But that's not for me, all right? I prefer to see a pullback to this support area. And then I would like to buy. Nathan, what if AMD fails in reacting? What if we see AMD, Nvidia, these stocks correcting to their support levels, but they don't react? They lose their support levels, guys. There are literally dozens of stocks that are way more interesting than AMD, Nvidia, Tesla, etc. right now. So I have, personally speaking by myself, I have many other stocks in mind, way better, with way better risk management, way better risk reward relationship. So these stocks, if you ask me, they are not interesting. Of course, I keep them on my radar because they could be. And they could be very soon, okay? So that's why we keep monitoring these stocks, because trading requires patience, all right? In the end, it does require a lot of patience. We are like snipers over here. Our philosophy is to avoid over trading, okay? We are not day traders, all right? And this is funny because some people, they ask me, Nathan, I would love to trade with you, but I'm not a day trader, guys. Me neither, okay? We are swing traders. We spend more time studying the market, analyzing the market, than actually trading, actually buying, selling, etc. Because we only buy, we only sell when the opportunity is technically perfect, okay? It has to be extremely perfect, all right? And then, and only then, we trade, we buy, we sell, etc. We have a complete checklist to follow. So yes, we like to trade less, we like to capture bigger movements, and of course to follow a strategy to avoid stress, to avoid emotions, okay? So that's what I like to teach you guys here on this channel and on my Telegram channel as well, okay? We always do that every single day. So yes, AMD, Nvidia, Palantir, these stocks, they could get very interesting very soon, but not right now. And Palantir, as far as I know, is trying to make a top signal, okay? It is really trying to make a top signal. Today we are closing below to yesterday's low, Friday's low, all right? So, yes, that's a top signal. Any pullback to the 148 or to the 21-day EMA could be another buying opportunity. Nathan, is that an opportunity to sell? It could be. Of course, it depends on your strategy, but if you ask me, it is always interesting to sell after seeing the materialization of a top signal, even if partially. All right, so that could be a sell, but for profit-taking purposes, not for shorting. All right, if you want to short when the trend is bearish, because right now Palantir is still bullish. The trend is insanely bullish. So I prefer to wait for a pullback so we can buy instead of trying to short over here, okay? That's too risky. I don't like it. I prefer to nail a good bottom signal following the trend, following the money. All right, we like to follow the money. Now, we see MicroStrategy. Let me take a look at some of the Bitcoin-related stocks again over here because we see Bitcoin making a sharper pullback, okay? We are approaching the 21-day EMA. That's okay. That's totally healthy. That's what Bitcoin did over here, right? Over here, all right? So that could be just another harmless pullback. However, we gotta see Bitcoin reacting as soon as possible above this 21-day EMA. Otherwise, we may see stocks like MicroStrategy, like Coinbase, like Mara, etc. These companies, they could trigger sharper corrections, especially because Coinbase is going to report earnings in 10 days. MicroStrategy is a little bit where is Micro? Oh, here. MicroStrategy is going to report earnings in 10 days as well, but this one is a little bit more bearish. It is approaching this 21-day EMA right now, so we gotta see a meaningful reaction as soon as possible above this support level. If we fail, okay, our next technical support level is at $372, okay? That's where MicroStrategy could be next if we see the loss of this 21-day EMA. And of course, we see Broadcom as well. Broadcom, I was supposed to analyze Broadcom last week, right? And right now we see Broadcom performing very well. It is rejecting the previous top signal from last Friday. And the key point over here is quite clear to me. $281.18. Okay, that's the key point for you. Only if Broadcom loses and closes below this key point, we could see a sharper correction ahead. All right, as long as we stay above this key point, no correction could materialize because we would maintain the bullish bias on the 1-hour chart. We would still see Broadcom above this key inflection point as well. So 281.18. That's the key inflection point for Broadcom. As long as we stay above it, we are going to maintain the bullish bias. If we lose it, all right, a pullback is plausible. If a pullback materializes, we may see another buying opportunity near this double support level, near the 21-day EMA and the 265. That's how I see the situation right now. Although the market looks so complex, so difficult, so annoying right now, it is still very simple to me. The key points are still very clear, and we can still work with many strategies using the key points I just told you guys here on this video. That's why you should subscribe, because we are here every single day talking about many stocks, analyzing many stocks, trying to design good strategies every single day. So subscribe, click the like button to support me as well. Your like means a lot, my dear friends. See you guys tomorrow as usual. Stay safe. Bye bye.